Hello everyone, this is my daily vlog, episode 38, and I've been wondering today, is our extinction inevitable? Does humanity have too much climate change ahead and too little resources to get off this planet or to correct the mistakes that we've made on this planet? And are we using up resources too fast, like clean water, our supply of food, our supply of even animals? Are we using all of these things too fast, and even our atmosphere? Are we destroying it too fast? Are we consuming too much oxygen compared to how many trees we leave standing? Um, and what I always come out with is a combination of hope and pessimism, which is kind of a weird combination. It's kind of like opposites. Um, we we as human beings are increasing what we consume in a very terribly increasing way. Um, it's not just because our population is getting bigger; it's because the world is becoming more and more a consumer society, and consumer societies basically do what it says, consumes, and we don't seem to have the desire to find other ways to either craft our own dishes, even to reuse cups and glasses in the same way that we did in the past, to use forms of renewable energy because a lot of these things are expensive. Renewable energy, a lot of the time, is just more inconvenient and more expensive in the short term. In the short term, than it and it's not in the long term. But a lot of people think in the short term. So that's why when you look at it on paper, when you look at getting energy from a solar power plant, assuming that's available, and that's a very if it's available, because in most places, in the vast majority of places on Earth, it is not. But solar panel energy, getting that in the short term, that kind of plan is more expensive a lot of the time. But in the long term, it does save you money. However, in general, when human beings exist in a society, we think in the short term. We are easily pliable to social media, to facts we receive from head news sources, whether they be true or not. If they're well known, then we usually accept that they're facts for some reason. And this causes us, along with the capitalistic urges that come out of television advertisement and advertisement everywhere else, all these things make us desire things right now and as soon as possible, and to have the savings right now, even if in the long term the savings aren't as much. And this is a deadly cycle because this leaves us going from moment to moment thinking that we need this, we need this, we need this. And once we have it, there's always another thing that we so called need. Whether it be a certain kind of toothpaste, a certain kind of electronic device, a certain kind of nutritional supplement, a new way to organize your wardrobe, or accessories that we add on to our shirts or hats or something like that, and new dishwasher soap basically that cleans even better. Just little things like that. All these little things add up, and when we hop from one to the next, thinking that we truly need each one of these things, uh, then we kind of lose sight of how many of these things add up. How many things we spent money on that we simply don't need, or things that we don't need to change, but they look so flashy and nice at the time that we just decided to buy it. Especially when it comes to accessories for cars, or different kinds of food or wine uh, that are heavily advertised in grocery stores, for instance. Um, when we're hopping around like this, uh, we tend to consume quicker. If our attention is grabbed by a new ad, a new product, then we tend to consume it quicker because we've kind of been given this addiction, this desire for it, to consume it. And once we have it, we take it all. We have it all, and that Coke is gone before we know it. That Pepsi is drowned our drink and been drank before we know it. Um, and it just didn't. Humanity as a whole did not exist like this before the last, I don't know, 50, 60 years. Advertisements have increased in their proficiency and effectiveness in the recent decades because of studies and a lot of money being spent on how to advertise to people. And it's not always easy to sell renewable energy, renewable products because there's not as much money to be made in renewable for companies, because if you use something and then want to toss it, then you have to buy another one, and that's worth far more to companies than anything that you can use again and again and again. And since that is the case, consumption is basically the order. Uh, Landfills are filling up with our garbage in an increasing rate, not just because of our population, but an increasing rate per person. Because of the amount of trash we produce as a result of consuming all these products, whatever the products might be. I'm leaving out a lot of products, but I'm just using the ones off the top of my head. Food, detergent, um, accessories, to cars and to ourselves, things like that. Those are just off the top of my head. Not a good representation of all products, but you get the idea as far as advertisement and how we consume. Because odds are, if you're watching this, you live in the same capitalistic society that I live in, which is basically all the first world countries at this time. Uh, Now, there are a good amount of CEOs of businesses that want to keep our planet going for a long period of time. But they're I think too few, because a lot of the people who are on at the head of companies, at the head of industry, are very old, and they're looking to make a quick buck, to make as much money right now, uh, and it doesn't always go back into the economy. A lot of the time, it basically goes into their pocket to spend on luxuries that are kind of like one buys. Like, for instance, this man in Chicago, he influenced the governor. Well, I shouldn't say governor because that doesn't make any sense for a city. He influenced the mayor to close a whole bunch of schools by bribing the mayor. And he made all these millions of dollars from it, uh, through the closing of these schools, through one way or another. And what he did with all those millions of dollars is just basically buy a painting. All that money went to one person, and it wasn't even a person that lived in the United States, just for one painting. Millions and millions of dollars. Over 50 schools closed. I should have more details if I'm going to mention it, but you could probably find the story on the Young Turks. But just all that money just to buy a painting, and the money it wasn't even put back into our economy. It's things like that drive me nuts, man. Just the amount of waste, the desire to gain wealth, but then just to waste it and not spend it on anything that helps us. Um, Things like that make me believe that we simply won't last another 100 years, the humanity as a whole. Um, the littlest things are what give me the most hope, though. Somebody choosing to give an old woman a ride, uh, or somebody choosing to donate to a school lunch program, or to help a college basketball player to regain his strength and play again, and the team letting him play again, even if he actually hurts the team's chance of winning. It's all the little things that give me strength and hope for our future. Um, but will we survive as a consumptive society, as a society who continuously desires something else and then tosses it aside as trash once we desire another thing? A lot of the time, especially when it comes to electronics or fashion. But can we survive for a longer period of time as we are? No, we can't survive like this forever. This consumptive rate we're peddling out as human beings, it can be sustained on this planet for a long time. It can only be sustained maybe for another 100 years, in my opinion. And climate is changing so fast that we might not even have that unless we come to a very uh, innovative solution to climate change, to where we either almost completely destroy emissions, negative emissions into the atmosphere, uh, or in water. and environment in general. Emissions of carbon monoxide, uh, plastic, and chemicals into the water. If we can almost completely cut that out, we might have a chance. But at this point, we've done so much damage. I'm not even sure there's any coming back from that. There's always hope, and I do believe that there will be something that will help humanity as a whole deal with the challenges to come. What will happen to our planet? I just don't know what it is yet. Just kind of, my hope doesn't have a lot to go on right now, unfortunately. And since we can't leave this planet, we can't leave Earth, and it's not something that's feasible anytime soon, we have a real problem on our hands. We can't leave, and we're using up everything that we need to stay. Uh, so, basically, if we don't develop some way for a lot of us to get off this planet, and we don't find a way to combat climate change that we cause, we don't have a very good chance of surviving at the same level of civilization that we have been for a while in the next 100 years. And it's kind of a sad point to end on, but really, that's what I've been thinking about today, and I'm trying to figure out solutions, but not a lot are coming. So, thanks for watching. If this made you think, please give me a like. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe, and I will talk to you later. I hope you all have a good one. Hell, I hope we have a good life. Thank you.